So let's begin taking a seated position. And you can come up to sit on a block to just lift your hips a little higher than your knees. That'll be a bit more relaxing for your lower back, taking some weight out and helping you to sit taller. If you're quite open in the hips, though, you feel free to just have your bottom on the ground. Let the hands rest on the knees. And then just press lightly down onto the knees to get really tall through the spine. In parallel to the ground. And then just slightly draw your throat back. Gently close your eyes and send your internal gaze down to the tip of the nose. Just for the first few rounds of breath, keep your belly soft so you can really breathe deep to the bottom of the lungs, the bottom of the belly. And breathing into the belly is super calming for the nervous system. So just breathe that way at the beginning of your practice. Once we're kind of setting the scene, settling into our body, settling into our breath, letting the thoughts and the mind settle. Breathe deeply in through the nose. Breathe deeply out. Inhale, expanding. Exhale, emptying. Inhale, watch the breath as it fills to the bottom of the belly and to the top of the chest. And then exhale from the top of the chest, out of the rib cage, out of the belly. Just connecting to this rhythm of breath, this constant flow. And just imagine that the breath is a cleansing for the mind. It comes in, it searches, and then it washes out on the exhale. Start to engage your lower belly, what we call Uddiyana Bandha. So drawing it backwards towards the spine, drawing the lower belly back towards the spine. And sitting taller, you can open your eyes and take the hands behind your back, further back than the shoulders. Try not to lean back into them. You just want to be on fingertips, with your fingertips spinning towards the back of the mat. And then roll your shoulders back and puff up your chest, pushing it forwards as well as up. And as I said, keeping the belly firm to support the lower back. Make sure you're not collapsing into your lower back here. We want to really keep the lower back soft and just full movement through the upper back. Breathing in, breathing out. Chin is ever so slightly lifted. Avoid throwing the head back. On your next inhale, just come to neutral. Stay there for a breath. Inhale. Exhale. And then again, pressing down into your fingers to lengthen the arm. Breastbone, collarbone lifting up and ever so slightly arching back. And then increasing the space between your rib cage. Trying not to just collapse into lower back. Belly is supporting the spine. Inhale, filling up wide into the side of your ribs. And then exhale, releasing back down. Let's interlace the fingers in front of the chest. Turn the palms inside out and straighten the arms. Firm belly. This time your back is going to be straight. So we're not trying to arch the upper back. We're just moving the arms, which they might feel a bit stiff at first. And then exhale, rounding, pressing the arms out in front of you. And again, inhale, just take it easy. It's first thing in the morning, so Your body will be stiffer than it is later in the day. Exhale forward. Inhale, straight spine, not arching. Full movement is just in the arms. Exhale, rounding. One more. Inhale, arms up. Leave them up and have a little stretch out from your wrists. A tiny little wiggle side to side. And then inhale, press up evenly through both palms. And exhale, drop the hands behind your back again. This time, interlace your fingers, pulling the hands away from your chest, finding that arch through the chest, which is a little more challenging when the hands are interlaced rather than on the floor. You haven't got that pressure to push into, so really just try to burst the chest forward enough and support your lower back. One more inhale here. Exhale, release the hands to the sacrum. And then we're going to make our way into tabletop position. So you can rock over your shins if that's comfortable, or take the feet out to one side. But just make your way into table. Hands shoulder distance apart, index finger pointing forward, toes pointing straight back. And then let's support our lower back with our belly engaged. Dip the belly and pull your chest forward through your arms. If you're feeling a lot of compression in the lower back, just don't dip the belly so much. Shoulders draw back, inhale here. And then exhaling, rounding, tuck the chin and look between your thighs. Inhaling, arching, lift the sit bone, stretch the chest. Exhaling, rounding, tuck the chin in. Inhale, rippling through the spine, loosening up a little more each time you go. Exhaling, rounding. One more. Inhale, lifting and arching. Exhaling, rounding. And then take your big toes together and your knees wide for a child's pose. Let your forehead rest on the floor and your bum close to your feet. You could take a block under your forehead if your head is hovering off the ground. Extending through the fingers, lengthening your side body as you ground your sit bones to your heels. On your next inhale, come to tabletop position. Take the knees hip distance apart. And just make sure your feet are closer to the back of the yoga mat and the hands are forwards of the shoulder. And then we're going to inhale, come forwards and sag the hips, keeping the belly engaged. Exhale, rounding back to child's pose without moving the hands. So you might not be able to take the feet back as far. Inhale, coming forward, letting the hips drop. Exhale back. Make sure the shoulders are staying relaxed, but the belly staying engaged. Inhale forward. Exhale back. Now we're going to come all the way onto the belly. So as you inhale, come forward, and then rolling thighs, belly, ribs, chest. Tuck your chin and land on your forehead. Take the hands off the yoga mat, so wider than the yoga mat, and then forwards. So the hands are closer to the end of the mat, further forwards than the shoulders. Come up onto fingertips, and then let the shoulders and the elbows drop towards the ground. Stretch your fingers long. Stretch your toes long. Stretch your legs and your toes long. Squeeze your bum. Push your hips into the mat. And then inhale, curl up. Just a little baby cobra so your bottom ribs stay on the ground and your belly. Exhale down. Land on your forehead. And again, think of like wiggling out of your waist as you come up. Exhaling down. And two more. Inhale, wiggling up, lengthening the side body. Exhale down. Now put your hands flat and then come up and just stay for a couple of breaths. Again, make sure the shoulders are not hiking up towards your ears. You're soft through the shoulders. The elbows are heavy. You can press up as high as feels comfortable right now. Breathe in. Breathe out. Nice strong belly. Inhale. And then exhale, lower all the way back down. Bring the hands under your shoulders. You're going to press into tabletop. So engage your belly. Try and go with a flat back. Knees above the hips. And then we're going to come into our extended puppy pose. If you want a stronger extended puppy, probably not if you're first thing in the morning, but if you're doing this later in the day, you might want to take your forearms onto a block, okay? First thing in the morning, I suggest probably just have the hands on the ground, bum stays above the knees, chest starts sinking down. Your forehead might want to just come down to the ground and then bend your elbows. To go more deeply, arms are really stretching, and then perhaps chin and chest is melting down. If you're feeling sharp pains in your shoulders, you back off, you do less. You find the point where you can stay, be kind of semi-comfortable. Probably not the most comfortable of positions to be in anyway, even if you are quite mobile. But you want to be able to stay and relax. Wrapping your elbow creases slightly so they're turning towards the ceiling. That's going to broaden across your shoulder blades. Again, giving your shoulders and deltoids a little bit more space, especially if they tend to pinch here. 2 more breaths. Breathe in. Breathe out. Inhale. Exhale. And then lift yourself back up. Walk the hands into just in a tabletop position. Feet and knees together. Stretch the arms out to the sides of the room. And then slide your bum over to the left. Your bum and hips over to the left. Drop the knees to the right. And then kick the feet off the mat so your legs at a 90-degree angle. Press into your arms and the back of your head. Can you lift your right shoulder blade off the ground and then rotate your rib cage more to the left and then look to the left? If that feels too strong, just shuffle back to where you started. If the knees are separated, mine always tend to in a twist. You can just pop a block between them so that top leg feels a little bit more grounded. Breathe in for as long and as full as you can. And then bring the knees back to center. Place the feet down. Shift your bum to the right and then go even more to the right. Let the knees drop down to the left. Arms are parallel to the ground. Press into the back of the head. Lift your left shoulder blade. Spin your rib cage a bit more to the right. And then look to the right. And then come back into those really deep breaths. You're seeking, you're searching out space in your body. Inhale. Exhale. One more breath in. Exhale. And then come back through center. Shift your hips back to the center. Remove the block. Put on some extra layers if you need to stay warm. It's a bit cooler. Once you're wrapped up, extend out your legs. Legs a little wider than the hips, so legs are out at a V. And then just draw the shoulder blades down the back. Lengthen the back of the neck. palms open, and then just lengthen your lower back a little bit. Let the legs be floppy, and let your whole body sink down into the ground. Just make any small adjustments you need to so you can be completely still for the next few minutes. Continue to watch your breath, but just let the breath go back to its regular rhythm now. But watch it start to shorten naturally. Notice the sound of the breath becomes much quieter. We just stay focused, stay inquisitive on the natural breath, because this is the breath that we have with us throughout the day. Most of the day, we're not breathing, we're not changing the way we breathe, we're just letting the breath do its own thing. We want to start to become more aware of the subtle, natural breath, because as you know from this practice, the breath is the meditation aspect. The breath is what helps us be more present. So if we can become just aware of our regular breath, we can spend our days being more present. So rest, focus. I will wake you up in a couple of minutes. Let's begin to deepen your breath. Become more aware of your active breath. Start to wiggle your fingers and toes. Take your knees into your chest. Roll yourself over to the right side. And then push yourself up to a seated position. Cross the legs, take the palms together. Sit really tall. Drop your shoulders. Breathe in, lengthening all the way to the crown of the head. Breathing out. Inhale. Exhale. One more inhale. And then as you breathe out, take a forward fold, take your fingers to your forehead, giving thanks to your body, your breath, and this practice. Namaste.